I don't know about you guys, but are you starting to sense the shift? I'm looking around at all these games coming out that are built for games journalists, games like Concord, games like Dustborn, and they're just fucking tanking when it comes to player retention, player interest, player review scores. But yet the scores themselves from all of these legacy media websites are just praising, just sucking the teat of all of these games that aren't just, they aren't resonating with gamers anymore. And I'm starting to see the shift. More and more people are growing so tired of the magenta Gen Z fucking microtransaction fueled experiences that we've been getting for the past, I don't know, decade at this point. And even if you look around the landscape now with games like Delta Force, Stalker 2 on the horizon, even Gears of War E-Day that just got announced, where they're taking it back to the horror, like gritty adult vibes of the first game and going even further in that direction. Everything that I have been talking about that we have moved away from over the past decade is seemingly coming back around. And now we're starting to see more and more experiences that are delivering exactly what gamers like you and me have been asking for since this channel has started. One of my most anticipated games that currently doesn't have a release date is No More Room in Hell 2. I was going to make a video on this, but I wanted to wait for more information to come out, and now that Gamescom is going on, there's a bunch of content out there. New trailers are dropped. One of the trailers is the one you can see on your screen here. It's a permadeath zombie horror game that features 8-player co-op where you and your friends move throughout the dark, zombie-infested world playing as emergency responders. You and your friends must survive, scavenge, stockpile, and fulfill your mission to make it to the center of the map where a power plant resides. And there's a bunch of lore kind of surrounding the power plant. When it went down, it kind of opened up this zombie portal from the sounds of it. The game's premise sounds fucking sick because you choose your characters with a build. You all start in different locations. They kind of said like a lot of you guys will end up starting in forests, kind of away from civilization. And then as you kind of move through the forest trying to find like either a gas station or a church or any type of civilization, you get to these structures and then you have to work towards getting the lights on in this area. So once you can get the lights on, let's say you have the gas station, now other players can maybe see the gas station in the distance and they know how to group up. You have to communicate and you have to work towards getting together so that you can survive. And it just sounds fucking awesome. They took a lot of inspiration from roguelikes where you can die, but when you come back, you have more tools at your disposal. You have more options for your character build. I'm waiting to see how the character builds are going to come into play here, but I do feel like this premise is exactly what a game like The Day Before should have been. Instead of focusing on like massive world PvP, focus on a more like tight-knit cooperative experience where the zombies become like the big threat instead of other players. I do think this game is right on trend for where we are in terms of the multiplayer space right now. You're always going to have your PvP games, but I think a lot more people are realizing to avoid shit like cheaters, hackers, fucking microtransaction ass games, co-op PvE experiences like Helldivers 2, like No More Room in Hell 2, I think are where a lot of people are looking at going in the future. It's funny, another game that I want to talk about here is Arc Raiders, where they actually made it pivot to an extraction shooter, and now I think the extraction shooter genre love is kind of gone. Survival genre in terms of like open world PvP, kind of gone. I think Arc Raiders kind of shifted focus at the worst possible moment, but we do have a lot of co-op driven games like No More Room in Hell 2 on the horizon. I'm actually really excited for it. As someone who's a huge fan of Chivalry and how that game has progressed from the early days of Chivalry to where it's at now with Civ 2, I'm just overall a general fan of Torn Banner and their work. And now what I do find weird about it is the trailer that we got at Gamescom here doesn't have any sort of release date on it, but a lot of articles that were written back in like June and July are stating that this game is going to be shooting for a Halloween release window. Whatever that means, whether it's the week of Halloween or directly on, nobody knows. There is no actual launch date yet, but according to their Steam page, they're going to go to early access for at least a year before coming out and being in a 1.0 state. And apparently when it launches, it's going to be launching on both Steam and Epic Games Store at a reasonable entry price. So we don't know price, we don't know release date, but chances are sometime near the end of October, maybe into early November. Let me know in the comments down below, am I crazy? Am I missing the mark? Am I a little bit too optimistic for the future. I'm sure you guys are going to let me know if I'm ever positive on this channel, but I am looking forward to the future. There are a lot of games on the horizon in the near future that I'm very excited about. I'm not gonna lie, I put a tweet out earlier this year and I said gamers who are fans of FPSs are going to be eating this year, and so far we've been fed incredibly well, and we got seconds coming up here right away. Now, if you're fans of games like Concord and Dustborn, you're eating pretty well yourself. And for the 100 or so of you out there, I mean, I'm glad you guys have some games that you can enjoy as well. Anyways, guys, my name is Big Fry. Again, let me know in the comments down below. Let's have a conversation. No More Room in Hell, definitely on my radar, and I hope that it's true that it's going to be launching around Halloween of this year. I really want to play it. Leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed it, a dislike if you didn't. My name is Big Fry. Check out my second channel down below. It's More Big Fry, where I put reaction content discussing the latest movies, video games, animes, and everything in between. And I'll see you on the next one.